Okay, so do you think the opening sequence of my film Circle Line fitted the conventions of the genre social realism?
Yeah, I do.
Why?
Well, it's quite gritty, isn't it, really? I quite like the darkness of the opening scene before sunrise. It's all kind of quite seedy places, a bit like you'd see in Kes or something of that sort of film, where it's not beautiful and pretty. That to me rather sums up that kind of genre of film.
Do you think the running sequence at the beginning was interesting enough? Did it keep your focus?
Yeah, very much so. I liked it because it had lots of short clips of running in different locations, and the camera angles were quite interestingly done. I liked the focus on the little metal bar as you were running through through some gate or something like that. The focus wasn't on the person; the focus was on the steel bar, rather kind of utilitarian look to it. I like the scene, the view down the road of you running along the pavement by the car showroom. Quite interesting the way you were filmed from obviously a moving car and you looking around behind you.
Okay. What did you think of the sound, both the music and the diegetic sound within the footage?
I love the toast. I thought that was great fun. And the rather shocking alarm that went off, particularly after that rather sort of mellow but slightly sinister music that started off the film, which was rather slow, and then you suddenly into this whirlwind of sounds, the getting up sounds all put together, one after the other, chop, 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 chop. I thought it worked really, really well.
What did you think of the positioning of the titles and the colours, the colour used, as well as the positioning around the screen?
I have to say I didn't notice them too much because I was too busy looking at what was actually going on. They weren't obtrusive, but they were clearly there. Yeah, I quite like the font used. I quite like the black on white and the white on black. That was quite nice.
And finally, what did you think of the character development? Do you think I could use a voiceover to help develop the character, or do you think that would be unnecessary?
Well, I think a voiceover at that point would be unnecessary. I think it speaks for itself. The opening scene really speaks for itself. I don't think you need a voiceover. You could put one on there. I wouldn't think it would help it. Unless it was very clever. Well, I can't really think what clever would be, actually. I couldn't think what you would say as a voiceover at that point. You might have a voiceover later on somehow, but I wouldn't put it there. Because you've already got enough sounds going on, and it already sums up that there's it's quite edgy from the start, just with the music and the fairly fast moving visuals. And you can tell something is going on, but you can't tell quite what, and that's what I like about it.
Also, did you think that there were enough enigma codes created within the film, enough unknowns displayed?
You have to tell me what enigma codes are.
So, things that evoke questions within your mind as you watch the film, that make you want to continue watching.
Were there enough? Yes. There were certainly some. I think there were plenty to make you want to know what was going on and what's going to happen next. I mean, having two police cars going past, I thought was very interesting because that made me think: are the police cars, were they looking for him, and had they missed him and driven past? Um, where was he running to, and why did he stop? Was he? It sort of seemed like he was running away from someone or some situation, which once he had got away from it, he had stopped. But why had he stopped, and where was he running from? And then that was brought up again as he was walking down that track, the kind of graffiti track. Then these two guys come and whack him one, and steal his purse. So was that something to do with the opening sequence, or was that just entirely unrelated? There were all sorts of things like that. Why was he running away from town? Had something happened in town? There were all sorts of questions. It opened all sorts of things that were unclear, which I thought were quite interesting actually.
Okay, thank you.